Welcome back to TPS. Football is a game that often comes down to luck. One play can change everything, and model franchises like the Patriots, Steelers, and 49ers have been on the right side of luck far more often than not. And then there are the teams that are always on the wrong side of luck. The bounces never go their way, and after decades of failure, you come to realize that these franchises are simply snake-bitten. Here are the 9 most snake-bitten NFL teams right now.
At TPS, we post videos every single day, so don't forget to click the subscribe button to subscribe. Then click the notification bell to be notified when we post a new video.
Number 9, New York Jets. Disgruntled Jets fans could argue that their team should have been even higher on our list, but at the end of the day, gangrene is a Super Bowl championship banner, and they've at least enjoyed some playoff success over the past quarter century. This team reached the 1998, 2009, and 2010 AFC Championship games, and they were a consistent wildcard team throughout the first decade of the new millennium. But sometimes snake-bitten also means experiencing plenty of postseason misfortunes. Obviously, there's some bad luck involved if you haven't reached a Super Bowl in over 50 years. In regards to being snake-bitten during playoff games, just think about the 2004 AFC Divisional Round against the top-seeded Pittsburgh Steelers, where kicker Doug O'Brien missed 2 game-winning field goal opportunities in the fourth quarter. The Jets were on the verge of something special with Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez after reaching consecutive AFC title games. Then Ryan lost control of the locker room, stubbornly stood by Sanchez, and watched a circus unfold in front of them. Before they knew it, the up-and-coming Jets became the same old loser Jets. Owner Woody Johnson happily throws millions and millions around on high-priced free agents, hoping they'll reverse this team's fortunes, but guys like Darrelle Revis, Trumaine Johnson, and Le'Veon Bell weren't able to do it. Well, at least the city of New York has the Giants. Oh, wait. Well, how about the Knicks? No? The Rangers? The Yankees look pretty good. Number 8, Atlanta Falcons. At first glance, the Falcons have been far more consistent than most other teams over the past 20-something years. 2 Super Bowl berths and 4 NFC Championship game appearances dating back to '98. It could be worse. But the thing is, this organization should have won at least 1 Super Bowl by now, and maybe more. The Falcons got an unlucky break when franchise star Michael Vick got involved in the infamous dogfighting scandal. Otherwise, who knows? Maybe Vick would have eventually led Atlanta to a Super Bowl. He got them to the 2004 NFC Championship game, so there's that. And man, what can we say about the Matt Ryan-led Falcons? A disappointing 4-6 record and 6 postseason appearances? Yeesh. They blew a 17-0 lead at home to the 49ers in the 2012 NFC Championship game, losing 28-24 after being stopped in the red zone during the final moments. And of course, there was the whole Super Bowl 51 collapse against the New England Patriots. We'll never forget that. The historic meltdown cemented the team's status as snake-bitten. The Falcons haven't rebounded since that collapse to the Patriots. Injuries to key players led to disappointing seasons in 2018 and 19. Only a snake-bitten franchise can lose so many star players in such a short span. Yep, this team is snake-bitten. Not even an MVP quarterback, and Julio Jones can change that. And time is running out for these two to change that narrative in the ATL. Number 7, Arizona Cardinals. Well, the good news for the Cardinals is that they're not as much snake-bitten as they are just plain bad. Sure, they've caught some unlucky breaks in the postseason, but you can only be snake-bitten to a certain degree. This team owns the longest championship drought among all North American sports franchises, having last won it all in 1947 when the team was Chicago-based. The Cardinals didn't make the playoffs at any point from 49 to 73. After losing the 48 NFL championship game, the Cardinals didn't even win another playoff game until 1998. There was a brief resurgence when this team reached Super Bowl 43, only to lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the final minute. Thanks a lot, Santonio Holmes. Arizona also made the playoffs in 2009, 2014, and 15, making it as far as the NFC Championship game in the latter year. But because they're snake-bitten and all, the Cardinals lost 49-15 to the Carolina Panthers. Didn't help that Pro Bowl quarterback Carson Palmer couldn't stay healthy when Arizona had a brief championship window, and losing beloved head coach Bruce Arians to retirement in 2017 did no favors either. Only time will tell if Kyler Murray can fix this poor Arizona team that's been snake-bitten for 7 decades and counting. Number 6, Los Angeles Chargers. We like to place the Chargers further up on our list, but the worst snake bites only began to hit in the 21st century. Like the Cardinals, the Chargers were just very bad or very mediocre for a very long period of time. Several periods of time, actually. The Chargers had many good teams with Hall of Fame quarterback Dan Fouts, but they were never really great. We can't say they were really snake-bitten during his career. The trip to Super Bowl 29 was a pure fluke, They only survived Dan Marino's Miami Dolphins in the divisional round because Pete Stoyanovich missed a game-winning field goal attempt. A week later, the Chargers needed a clutch goal line stand to beat the Steelers in the AFC Championship game. And no, the Chargers were not snake-bitten in Super Bowl 29. The Steve Young-led 49ers were just the better team. The real snake bites for the Chargers began in 2006. LaDainian Tomlinson won the MVP award and they owned the league's top record at 14-2. Chargers fans don't need to be reminded about Marlon McCree's fumble in the divisional round, which took place seconds after he picked off Tom Brady for what would have likely sealed the victory. Then Nate Ketting missed the game-tying field goal on the final play of the game. The Chargers reached the AFC Championship game where they faced the undefeated Patriots. Sure enough, their three best players were all hurt. Rivers was playing through an ACL tear, Tomlinson had an MCL sprain and barely saw the field, Antonio Gates was playing through a dislocated toe. The Chargers lost a sloppy and mistake-filled game to the Patriots. Despite so many star-studded teams, they haven't gotten back to the conference championship game. And over the past 5 or so years, classic Chargers losses become a recurring phrase in the NFL. They always find ways to blow games. You can't make it up. These past 15 years or so have been enough for us to classify the Chargers as the fifth most snake-bitten team ever. The 6th most snake-bitten team ever. There you go. Number 5, Buffalo Bills. To reach 4 straight Super Bowls and lose all of them, that's more than enough to land among the top 5 most snake-bitten franchises. Don't forget how unlucky the Bills were when they lost to the Tennessee Titans on the controversial Music City Miracle play, too. Then from 2000 to 2016, the Bills were just awful or mediocre. Not too snake-bitten there. And with Sean McDermott and Josh Allen leading the way, the Bills look like they may have found the venom to their perennial snake-bitten woes. But their misfortunes over the past 30 or so years cannot be ignored. Until you become a consistent winning team, Buffalo, you'll remain high on our list. Number 4, the Bengals. The Bengals lost 2 close Super Bowl games to Joe Montana's 49ers in the 80s. Were they snake-bitten? Meh. Montana and company were a dynasty in the class of the NFL for a reason. But once the 90s rolled around, the Bengals' well-documented reputation for failure really took off. This team hasn't won a playoff game since the 1990 season. In fact, they missed the postseason every year from 91 to 2004, having failed to record a single winning season during that span. Marvin Lewis guided this team to the playoffs 7 times from 2005 to 15, and they won 0 playoff games. The 2015 Bengals are probably the best hope this team had at a Super Bowl under Lewis. Of course, Andy Dalton suffered a season-ending thumb injury in Week 14, and of course, they blew that wild-card game against the Steelers because of careless penalties from Vontaze Burfict and Adam Jones. The Bengals never recovered from that heartbreaking playoff loss, recording losing seasons in each of the next 4 years. If only the Bengals had managed to win one of those Super Bowl games against the 49ers, it would have taken away a large portion of that snake-bitten reputation. Number 3, Detroit Lions. In the Super Bowl era, the Lions have nothing more than a single postseason victory, and that took place back in '91. Think about that for a minute. One postseason win in over half a century and counting, that's just humiliating. Franchise legend Barry Sanders could have changed all of that, but the Lions weren't able to get over the hump with him. His abrupt retirement in '99 was just another unfortunate event for this franchise. Pro Bowl quarterback Matthew Stafford has taken this team to the postseason 3 times, but they've all been one-and-dones. They were snake-bitten by some suspect officiating in the 2014 wild card round against the Cowboys. And All-Pro wideout Calvin Johnson retired early at the age of 30. That was also a bad break for the Lions. Should we mention the other times they've been on the wrong side of questionable officiating? That 2019 Monday night game against the Green Bay Packers pretty much summed up everything that goes wrong for the Lions. The lone silver lining about the Lions' snake-bitten woes: the Pistons and Red Wings combined for 7 championships from '89 to 2008, so the Motor City got to experience a good amount of success while their Lions continued to let them down. And the Tigers won the AL pennant in 2006 and 12 too. Number 2, Minnesota Vikings. Unlike every other team on our list, the Vikings have been consistent winners throughout the Super Bowl era, except for the fact that they haven't won a Super Bowl yet. Instead of rambling on and on, we can simply focus on the Vikings' most unfortunate playoff breaks. They lost in all 4 of their Super Bowl appearances in '69, '73, '74, and '76. There was Gary Anderson's missed field goal in the 1998 NFC Championship game that led to the end of the dream season. Brett Favre's ill-advised interception in the waning seconds of the 2009 NFC Championship game against the New Orleans Saints. Blair Walsh has missed a gimme game-winning field goal attempt in the 2015 wildcard round. With the opportunity to host Super Bowl 52 in Minnesota, they got blown out by Nick Foles and the Eagles in the 2017 NFC title game. You see, the Vikings have had so many chances to rack up the Lombardi trophies, and they haven't done so once. They're not snake-bitten during the regular season, but the snake bites come at the worst possible time for this franchise. And number 1, Cleveland Browns. As you know, most teams on our list have enjoyed at least some playoff success in the Super Bowl era, but what can we say about the Browns? They lost the 1986 AFC Championship to the Broncos because of John Elway and the Drive. They lost the 1987 AFC Championship after Ernest Biner fumbled near the goal line with a chance to force overtime. Twice, the Browns were on the verge of reaching the Super Bowl only to fall short, and they were blown out in another AFC title game against Denver in '89. Then owner Art Modell sold out and relocated the team to Baltimore in '96. The Browns were deactivated from '96 to '98 just when it looked like some guy named Bill Belichick was about to build something special there. And since being reactivated in '99, only one playoff appearance to show for it, and that was in 2002. We're closing in on 20 years since their last postseason berth. We could list all the constant head coaching and GM changes, but what's the point? Let's quickly throw out all the names of their high-end picks who wound up being giant busts. Tim Couch, Courtney Brown, Gerard Warren, Trent Richardson, Barkevius Mingo, Justin Gilbert, Johnny Manziel, Corey Coleman, and the list goes on and on. See, I said quickly, so we did it quickly. That's how it works. To be fair, the entire city of Cleveland was snake-bitten in sports for 52 years until LeBron James got the Cavaliers to an NBA championship in 2016. The Browns literally can't do anything right anymore, and the last time they almost did it right was in the 80s, and they blew it every time. Which is especially sad since, believe it or not, they stood as a model of excellence during the Jim Brown years. Which NFL franchise do you think is the most snake-bitten? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.